Hello, dear friends. Here we are at Cardiac Radio, nourishing our souls with living in serenity. And today we have a special chapter, a book by Emmanuel titled The Way, the Truth, and the Life. Due to the current times, we need a special message tonight because I know many people have been asking us at Cardiac Radio, at the Spirit Side of Virginia, and other means about how to feel this collective moment here, right? About the coronavirus, right? We all need greater reinforcement. So what to feel, what to do, what to ask God about? Are you afraid? Are we afraid? What should we do? What are the current times asking us to do? This is the question we're going to ask today. In the book Nosso Lar by the Spirit André Luiz through Chico Xavier, we've come to know that fear is so detrimental, that it's highly contagious, and it can hinder our evolution because it paralyzes us. So we need to acknowledge fear and work with it. And one of the ways to do it is to know how to assess the spiritual powers of the earth. Because you know that in the seventh layer of this planet, we have its governance with Jesus and his team. They are overseeing everything that is happening to us. So what is on us to do? First and foremost, we need to observe the current scientific recommendations. Avoid public gatherings. Avoid public meetings. Public anything at this point. Prevention is heavenly because it's going to protect us from the need of remedying it later. Anything we can do to prevent by, revisiting our personal hygiene habits and refining it to another level. And reinforcing our healthy habits, what we eat, make it ever more alkaline. Science tells us that once the body is alkalinized, it is healthier. It works better. It functions better. And we have a healthier immune system to take care of ourselves. We also need to drink more water. Okay, the older we are, the more water we need because we lose water in our bodies. We do. So the older we get, the less water we have in our body, the more need to hydrate. More hydration. But what about the spiritual part of it, right? What do we need to do? Today we're going to read chapter 44 of the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. Yes, to customize it. But before I go there, let me answer to a few questions here, right? Let me answer to that. I have here our dear friend, Silvia Otero. Hello, Silvia. Alkaline, there is the pH of the body. We're talking about acidic or alkaline. When the body is too acidic, the immune system is challenged. We stress the body. So, for example, when we eat sugars, processed foods, we drink sodas, and alcohol, we are acidifying the body. It's becoming more acidic, more prone to diseases in general. So what do we need to do to alkalinize? If you Google alkaline diet, you're going to see the foods that are more alkaline and that help us stay healthier. Okay? All right? Okay, these are just some material tips because we spiritists, we are multidimensional beings. We're spirits enveloped by a spiritual body, which is semi-matter, connected to the physical body. So when the spirits give us in the gospel according to Spiritism, I have the gospel always here at hand, right? Because without the gospel, what can we do? But you have here in the gospel according to Spiritism a chapter that talks about, and I'll give you the number in a second. 1 second. I'm gonna give you the number. Okay, 1 second, and I'll get from my online version so I can get it more quickly, the number and the title of it all for you. 1 second, please. I'm going to the Kindle version so I can give you a good reference on the importance of doing what we're talking about here. 1 second. It says it's chapter. Oops. One second. Body and spirit. Where is it? It's the chapter that talks about to take care of body and spirit. It's that subtopic, and I'm getting here on in a minute because this is very important to us. Often we become spiritual and we forget that the body need help, and we start becoming a little hectic in our daily behaviors, daily attitude towards caring for the body. So hold on. You know, each version has a different subtitle. That's why I cannot find it here. I will type it in. If you find it and you're here with us, thank you for your help. Thank you, friends. It's about taking care of the body and spirit. And the good spirits say we need to take care of the body. And the body here needs strength. During critical times, we need extra vigilance to have a strong immune system. So anything we can do to boost the immune system. But spiritually, all we need is love. Yeah. To protect ourselves, really, spiritually speaking. And that gives a boost to the physical. Is about love, kindness, prayer, positive thinking, and being dutiful. Because once we are dutiful, chapter 21 of the book Thought and Life by Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier, once we are dutiful, we don't enter guilt, because when we enter guilt, we start affecting our immune system. So to boost our immune system, we need to be dutiful. Do you remember the chapter we studied here that talked about how justice may come, visit us, divine justice, and if it sees us being dutiful and serving others with love and pleasure, it may be shooed away and for indefinitely. So it's good to be lovingly dutiful, to enjoy the duties of life. Right now, many of us have to be closer to our families because we can't go places and run away in trips, restaurants, playgrounds. We need to look at each other and say, either I love you or I love you, because we have to stay together. So this is a good time for us to love the family duty, or to rediscover the pleasure of this family duty that makes us so much better people. I see here friends who have joined us. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us. And I can see Silvio Terio. Thank you, Sylvia, for joining us. I see also Our dear friend Jailton. Hello, Jailton. How are you? Nora Brazil. How are you? Ellen Swift. How are you? Rosalind Rosa. Teresa Castro. You're right. The I Trust God vaccination. You're right. You are right. Patty Soares. Thank you so much, Patty, for your kindness. And I see Carol Correa. Thank you, Carol. Yes, Sunshine. I can see Sunshine here. Thank you, John the Rosa. Thank you, John, for joining us and being with us here at Cardiac Radio. So we are here. Yeah, thank you, Carol. She found it. Thank you, Carol. Chapter 17, item 11. Be perfect. Look after. Yeah, that's the expression. Look after the body and the spirit. So, but Emmanuel tonight has a lesson that is unique. Chapter 44 of the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. We're not going to read from before Jesus because tonight the spirit mentors at Cardiac Radio think that we need a particular message recruiting us to calibrate our hearts in greater harmony so we can move forward into this phase feeling brave and courageous and prepared and loving to share the good with people, though we cannot hug, we cannot kiss. No hugging, no kissing, okay? Unless you live under the same roof, if and only if you're not contaminated. I'm joking, but outside of our homes, no hugging, no kissing, because it may spread out. No close meetings, no contact, okay? And here we're going to see the blind man of Jericho. How many of us feel right now as blind as that man of Jericho? We cannot see like an inch beyond the situation of the coronavirus, right? You may be asking, do I believe in all this commotion? Who do I believe in? What should we do? If I have faith, I'm going to keep doing the same things. No. These are certainly times in which we need to listen to discernment. So right now, many of us on earth are like the blind man from Jericho. So let's see what Emmanuel presents to us. The Blind Man of Jericho, chapter 44, the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. What would you like me to do for you? He replied. Lord, I want to see. Luke, chapter 18, verse 41. The blind man of Jericho is one of the great figures of the gospel teachings. Luke's narratives tells us that this unfortunate man was walking along the way, begging. When he senses the master approaching, he begins crying out, begging for mercy. People become angered by his insistent pleas. They try to make him keep still. Jesus, however, hears his appeals, approaches, and asks with love, "What would you like me to do for you?" Receiving such broad freedom in the presence of this generous giver of divine gifts, the sincere beggar only responds, "Lord, I want to see." The aim of this honest and humble blind man should be ours in all of life's circumstances. Whether immersed in the flesh or outside it, we're sometimes like the beggar of Jericho, begging by the side of the road. Life calls to us, and work cries out to us. The light of knowledge blesses us, yet we remain indecisive, without courage to press on towards the lofty goal that it is ours to reach. And when the opportunity for our spiritual encounter with Christ appears, besides feeling that the world is against us, forcing us to keep still, we rarely know how to ask wisely. Hence, it is worthwhile to remember this poor man in Luke, because there is no need to come to the Master with a large number of requests. It is enough to ask him to merely give us the gift of sight, that we may accurately understand the particularities along the path of evolution. Therefore, may the Lord enable us to see all phenomena and situations, people and things with love and justice, and we will have all we need for our immortal happiness. That's it. It's short but deep, but it's precisely what we need. How many of us are like the blind man? But remember, he's blind and a beggar. He is by the edge of it all. He's by the side of the road. Sometimes that's what's happening to us in our daily lives. As Emmanuel is saying, we're not only blind, but we don't want to engage in life. For example, right now the coronavirus is asking us, the prevention is asking, focus on your priorities. But we don't want to, because we don't want to stay home with our families. No, we don't. Many people don't. They're like, and do what, Vanessa? Well, that's a good time to rediscover yourself and the family and the gatherings. No, but I want to be at my work. It's much easier. I want to travel. I want to break. Okay. It looks like the planet thinks otherwise. It looks like we're not in sync with the higher governance that is asking us to prioritize what is a priority. And that means stop being at the margins of life, escaping in alcoholic drinking, in addictions of all sorts, getting out of the community feeling in your family through the constant use of electronics. Now it's time for us to look at one another and rediscover the love of life. It's not poetic, it's a reality. We have no escape. We can no longer postpone the call that has been given to us by the World Health Organization. We need to avoid public meetings, and this is not out of scare. We are not doing this because we're scared or because we want to run away from our duties towards ours. But this is prevention. This is actually out of consideration to the general good. We need to observe the recommendations by scientists. So, spiritist centers should go fully online, of course, closing the physical presence, but opening the online presence to give a hand to the public. This is the time when all spiritual organizations, religious organizations, any sort of education organization is not closing the doors, but opening to the service at another level. And that's beautiful, because then we can boost this sharing of the good like never before. Like never before. But we need to observe the recommendations given by the experts. We need to respect the authorities. We need to protect people from spreading out. We always think we're not contaminated, but what if we are and we're spreading out? We need to be conscientious considerate. But many of us are like the blind man who is blind and is begging. And as Emmanuel says here, when Jesus comes to him, can you imagine? You look at a beggar who is blind, it's so evident, and Jesus comes and says, "What would you like me to do for you?" And you're like, "But can't you see? Are you also blind, Jesus?" Sorry, but some people would say, are you blind? Don't you see I'm blind? Of course, I don't want to be blind anymore. But why Jesus, as the master of all masters, asked this question that still rings for us today? Because Jesus is asking you and I right now, he's asking, what would you like me to do for you? What would you answer? Because we need to feel the scriptures. I mean, the story is beautiful, but where are we in that story? As Painter Joseph often says, we need to find us in the story. Where are we? So what would you say if Jesus asked you, what would you like me to do for you? What would you answer? Let's think. Let me think as well. What would I answer? And then, and asks with love, what would you like me to do for you? And our dear, the sincere beggar only responds, Lord, I want to see. The aim of this honest and humble blind man should be ours in all of life's circumstances. I will repeat, this is Emmanuel's spiritual recommendations. The aim of this honest and human blind man should be ours in all of life's circumstances. So whatever we answered, it's saying here, we should aim the same. Lord, I want to see. I want to see. What we're talking about, to acquire spiritual vision, sight. We need to expand because we're still so limited. We can't understand many things, and understanding is certainly essential for the progress and the regeneration of ourselves. So, I want to see. The problem is, like the beggar, he says, we remain indecisive without courage to press on towards the lofty goal that is ours to reach. Are we indecisive? Many of us are. We have, like Publius Lentulus, he had the dreams. He knew he was the reincarnation of his grandfather. He knew he looked alike. Even his handwriting. He had all the proofs, and he knew precisely what he needed to do in that life to be kinder, more fraternal. But for him, it was a big, huge challenge because he had to change so much to do it. Jesus came at the time that Flavia, his daughter, was sick. And reinforced, come on. Come with me. Because he had a lot of people depending on him. On Publius Lentulus. He was a public figure, not only for one life, previous lives. He had lives to command that depended on him. And what did he choose? He remained indecisive Yes, as he says here, we remain indecisive without courage to press on towards the lofty goal that is ours to reach. But if you think, and if I think, that what Emmanuel is saying is purely out of religious goals, no. We don't separate religious goals and material goals. We're talking about life. None of us here are being asked to trim our lives around religious pathways, because when we're truly religious, our life is a temple of God. We no longer separated. We can't be by the margins of life, begging for God daily. Please give me bread. Please give me that promotion. Like beggars. We're beggars. Oh, please, I want to find somebody whom I love. I want to have a child. I want to pass the exam. It's like beggars. And we're begging and begging and begging, instead of just being in the main road and saying, I trust that God is leading the way and I am just doing what I need to do. I face all the scenarios with courage and faith. Courage. So tonight the lesson is about courage. The courage to trim our lives down to what the current times need. Now I need to focus on my family. I cannot risk the general health, the public health, by going here and there and everywhere like nothing is happening. No, it is happening. And we need to join forces to calm everybody down by praying more, by being more optimistic, by sharing the good, by visualizing the good, but also taking care of the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and being dutiful. I know people who want to be helped, but when they have to pay their bill, they don't pay. So you want God to help you, but you don't do your share? You have to pay your bills. And I'm talking about material bills. No. We can't be beggars in life, asking for concessions if we don't do our share. We need commitment at all levels in our lives, and be dutiful at all aspects, material, emotional, spiritual. And he says here to us in this chapter, we rarely know how to ask wisely. Rarely. That's why it's worthwhile to remember this poor man in Luke, because there's no need to come to the Master with a large number of requests. It's enough to ask, to merely give us the gift of sight, that we may accurately understand the particularities along the path of evolution. We need understanding, discernment, to understand the particularities of the path of our evolution. Right now, we don't understand many things. So let us ask God, please help me see. Yes, I want to see. See what? See what I need to do to fulfill my duties in life, to be a good student of the Master, to be a good child of God. A child of God that is obedient to the laws, compliant, and that is all the more dutiful. He says here, may the Lord enable us to see all phenomena and situations, people and things with love and justice. And we will have all we need for our immortal happiness. It's about perception. We cannot take the right decisions if we don't see things as they are. If I look at somebody who comes from a specific country thinking they are to be blamed for the current health scenario on earth, this is not love and justice. This is cruelty. Because we only acquire what we have emitted. Law of the mental field. I don't attract what I don't have emitted, what I haven't emitted. I don't. We created this scenario. And now we're cleansing ourselves by the consequences of what we have created. So may the Lord help us, enable us to see ourselves, people, things, scenarios with love and justice. As Emmanuel is saying, with love and justice. With love and justice. So today, our exercise for the next 24 hours is to listen to Jesus asking us with love, Emmanuel says, what would you like me to do for you? And then we're going to repeat throughout the day, Lord, I want to see life with love and justice. Lord, I want to see life with love and justice. Lord, I want to see life with love and justice. And repeat throughout the day. This is an affirmation that will calibrate ourselves for any scenario in our lives until we evolve throughout the millennia. This is a millennial affirmation. Lord, may I want to see with life with love and justice. May we repeat it in reincarnations to come. I want to see life with love and justice. I want to see life with love and justice. Repeat one reincarnation, not only daily, but one reincarnation after the next. In the next one, we'll know each other by this affirmation. I want to see life with love and justice. Okay, friends? Yes, this is it for today in Living in Serenity. Acquiring this immortal sight so we can live a better life. Rejoicing in the current moment that is just balancing us on earth. We pray together that everyone who is feeling desperate, who is feeling lonely, may they all feel the hugging Master, the embrace of the Master, bringing them comfort and love. And so be it. Yes, O souls, a prayer should be the prelude to all human actions, since it fortifies the soul and enables it to overcome any difficulties. Right? Yes, Lord. Thank you, Carol. I want to see life with love and justice, and so be it. Thank you once again at Kardec Radio, always nourishing our souls. Always. A big hug to you. Until tomorrow, God willing.